let's start with the design part of it. And we have gone through piston, we have gone through the connecting rod. Now, the last part is the for the second part. Next part is the design of cylinder. Basically, a cylinder, we take it as a, if you are remembering a word called the pressure vessel. There is something called a pressure vessel in which, like we can have boilers. Boilers is basically a pressure vessel. There will be an internal pressure developing inside the boiler, and that pressure is the one which has to resist the boiler completely. So, if a boiler is unable to, what we can say, resist those pressures, you can see there is blast, and you might have come across those problems if you see the history. There are a lot of boiler blast, and boiler blast basically it leads to, because it's a high temperature gas, high temperature vapor that at the boiler, it will create problem. So basically due to that, so basically because of that, we need to have a lot of care while designing a cylinder, because if there is a small breakage in the cylinder, it can create a real dangerous condition or a hazardous condition in the vehicle. So cylinder, basically it's a part which takes care of the whole load that is coming due to the gas pressure. Now basically the design of cylinder basically consists of, you have to find the bore and stroke of the cylinder based on the power, that is the indicated power. Then we get into the wall thickness of the cylinder, then the cylinder head. Cylinder head basically we first consider it as a thin sheet or a plate. We cover with that plate, and on the plate we usually build all these items. So when we find the thickness of the cylinder head, what we do is we find the thickness and we keep that as the minimum thickness. Okay. Then we find, because this cylinder head has to be held on to the cylinder by using a set of studs. So the number of studs has to be found, then the size of the stud has to be found, and then the pitch. Pitch means the location of the stud, how to locate the stud. Where should it be? What should be its pitch diameter and all those things. So let's start with the So let's start with the bore and stroke. So basically the bore and stroke is basically found from the equation that we were using from a very old time, that is indicator power is equal to Pm LAN by 60, where Pm is the mean effective, indicated mean effective pressure. Usually if you are provided with the maximum pressure, if I say it is 10 megapascal, the indicator pressure will be usually 1/10 of that. Usually it is linked with the what we can say as the compression ratio. If the compression ratio is more, that indicator pressure usually comes down. So find the indicated mean effective pressure that is usually given. If the maximum pressure is given, assume that the indicated mean effective pressure is 1/10 of the maximum pressure and put that value. Don't care about the compression ratios or anything like that there, because that's the average compression ratio if you take a petrol engine. And then the length, L is the length of the stroke length. A is the area of the cylinder. N is the number of power stroke that we get. The number of power strokes that we get in a cycle. That's why the small n will be n by 2 for a 4-stroke engine, because in 2 cycles you will be getting 1 power stroke, and capital N for a 2-stroke engine, because in every revolution you are getting a power stroke there. And usually we take the stroke length as 1.5 times the bore diameter. And area, as you know, it's a cylinder. So the cross-sectional area is pi by 4 d square. So if you substitute all those things, and you will get the equation base of D, because IP is already there, PM is already there, L and A in terms of D, N is already there. So you will get finally the value of D from this, and substituting it in that L is equal to 1.5 D, you will get the stroke length out. Then we get into the cylinder wall and head. Cylinder wall and head, actually we have to go to equation number 716 716A in page number 79. That is actually this chapter 7 is basically design of pressure vessel. 1 minute. Okay, Amal, your question is IP and PM is already given in question. Usually IP will not be given. Sometimes BP and the mechanical efficiency will be given. So BP by mechanical efficiency will give you IP. And PM, as I have told you already, the maximum pressure might be given. So take 1/10 of the maximum pressure as PM, that is the mean effective pressure. Or else sometimes it will be directly given. So there will be methods to find out these two values in the question itself. So there will be values to find IP as well as PM in the question. Okay, is that clear? Okay. Now when you get into the thickness of the cylinder, let's go to the chapter 7. It may be around maybe 300 or something like that. So here you can see on the right side engines and pressure vessels. We'll just zoom it out. So here you can see all these values to be put. Wall thickness of the engine and pressure cylinder. So we go with SI. So we take equation number 716A, in which P is the maximum pressure that is inside the cylinder. Di is the diameter, and sigma STU is the basic what we can say of the endurance limit stress of the cylinder. So you will get H in terms of, you have to put Di in meters, P and STA, that is the endurance stress or the stress limit in megapascal. You will get the H in terms of meter. So make sure that you are converting it into millimeters also. So H will be very small there. Since it is millimeter, usually our cylinder thickness will be around 12 mm, 10 mm, 8 mm, that range. So you will get the value as 0.008 or 0.012, 0.010 like that. Okay. And let's go back to our presentation. And the next one is the thickness of the cylinder head. The thickness of the cylinder head, as I have told you, we consider it as a plate, a plain plate. And on that, we usually what we do is we mount all these things. We make it as a plate first. In our design, we make it as a plate and then slowly build up all the things over the cylinder head, over that plate for the cylinder head. We need to have a valve control system, that is the camshaft mounting sometimes, if it's the overhead camshaft, then the water movement, everything comes into picture there. So based on that, we slightly modify the cylinder head and finalize it. So the cylinder head usually actually starts with a plain plate. If I started using, I will take it as a plate and then build up everything on that plate and finalize it. Okay, got it? Now for the equation, we have to go to chapter 8 then. It is basically the plates which are loaded uniformly. Actually, we consider that once the burning is given for the maximum pressure, it always keeps a condition of constant pressure all over the surface. So the thickness of the cylinder is given by K1D. D is the diameter, P is the maximum pressure, and SD, as I have told you earlier, it is the what is that? The yield stress of the cylinder material. It may be the same because usually we make cylinder as well as cylinder using cast iron. So to find the value of K1, we have to go to table number 8.2. That is given there. You can see that clearly in the so this is 8. When you are using cast iron, you will go with 0.54 as K1 because we will be going with a circular plate. Oh, okay. I will share. Okay, ഇപ്പൊ കാണാമോ അമൽ ഡാറ്റ ബുക്ക്? Okay, so ഇതാണ് 8.2 എന്നുള്ള ഇക്വേഷൻ ആദ്യം കാണിക്കാവുന്നത്. I will just show the equation first and then come back again. Sorry. This is the equation. Plates loaded uniformly, as I have told you. We consider it as yes or no? Tell me. Presentation എടുത്ത് വെച്ചേക്കോ. ഞാനിപ്പം ഡാറ്റ ബുക്കിലോട്ട് കയറി കാണുമോ? I'm just going to the data book. So can you see the data book now? So based on this equation, to find K1, we go down to table number 8.2. And Okay, Anand, you can unmute and tell me. No problem. Once I go to table 8.2, I take the value as K1 is 0. K1 is, if it is supported and free, then we have 0.44. And if it is fixed, we go with the K1 value of 0.44. You can see that on the data book. So based on that, we substitute that and find out the thickness of the cylinder head. So that is the second stage. So first we have found the bore and stop, then we have found the cylinder wall and the cylinder head thickness. Now we have to go to the studs. So you can see that the studs are always kept out on the surface because we cannot make it as a single unit. So the cylinder has to be mounted onto the cylinder wall by using a set of studs. So the number of studs, usually we go with an empirical formula. We call empirical formula because it is based on the experience that we create. 0.01 d plus 4 to 0.02 d plus 4, which you substitute the bore diameter in terms of millimeter. Please keep it in mind that here you use d in millimeter. If you are having 100 as the bore diameter, you will get it as 1 plus 4, that is 5, to 2 plus 4, that is 6. Between 5 and 6 will be your number of studs. And what we usually do is we take a even number. Why we go with even number is because the distribution, the angle distribution will be smoother. For a 360-degree, if I take 7, the angular positioning will be completely confusing. We can do that in software, and you can machine that easily by using the present CNC machines, but we usually don't prefer to go for odd numbers because the testing and all those things will also be slightly creating problems. So what we do is we take a whole number which is preferably even number. Sometimes odd numbers they prefer, but most of the times we go with the even number and take that value. Now we go to the size of the stud. Size of the stud, basically you have the gas pressure acting on the piston, cylinder as well as the cylinder wall. So the cylinder head will also have the same gas pressure. So what we have found as Fg in conducting rod, do you remember 2482, equation number 2482 that we use in conducting rod? The same equation is to be used to find the force acting on the cylinder head. So that force should not take the bolt out, should not take the whole cylinder head out of the area. So for that we equate those two equations. So the resistive force Fr is given by pi by 4 dc square. Dc square is what we have to find out. That is the core diameter. Either is the number of studs that we have already found, and sigma t is the allowable tensile stress of the stud. The tensile stress keeps on varying. Even I can say, as I have told you earlier, in bolt we have the markings. Do you remember there is 8.8, 10.9, all those markings? I have shown it while we were in lab. And marked it. Do you remember what was 8.8 and what was 10.9 and all those things I have explained? 8.8 means it is 800 MPa ultimate tensile stress and 80% of that is the proof stress. So usually the allowable tensile stress we will take it as a proof stress, and it varies between both. Usually here in case of these things we go with 12.9 or 10.9 steps. So the tensile stress will be very high. Usually the value will be given. If the value is not given, take it as maybe 10.9. So 10.9 means 1000 MPa ultimate tensile stress and 90% of that is the proof stress, which means 900. You can take 900 MPa as the condition, and based on that you can calculate the DC. DC, if you put sigma T in Pascal, is that, and FR also in Pascal. Sorry, FR also, FR in Newton. You will get DC in terms of meter. Now, once you find DC, like what we have done in the connecting rod bolt, we have gone to the same table, table number 18.7. So I will show the table again. Am I audible to all? Because Aslam is messaged that he is not audible. Maybe just check his mobile or PC is in mute or anything like that. Just please check, Aslam. So I will just go to table number 18.7 here. Similar way, we go with the external threads. So spot 2. This is for square thread and here comes our area. Usually it will be in the first page itself. That is the page 1822. Because we don't have heavy bolts being used there. So in this, you can see that clearly the minor diameter for external thread, as we have done in the connecting rod bolt, we have finalized using the same table. The external threads you have to find for the minor diameter, and whatever DC you have got, you just check for that value. You find the value above your DC value, just above your DC value, finalize that and go to the extreme left. If I say, if I have got the DC as 7.7 mm, then I will just go through this. I will see that just above 7.7, I have 8.15. So that 8.15. Can you see that? I will go with 8.15 if I have 7.7. I will go to the extreme left here. This is the pitch and this is the basic diameter or the nominal diameter. So my bolt size will be M10 by 1.5. You got that clear? So again, we will go back to our slide. Once you have find out the basic diameter, the base diameter, then you have to go for the pitch circle diameter. Usually pitch circle diameter is our ball diameter plus 3 times the base diameter, because we need to have a comparatively good thickness available there. So if that D plus 3D, we have the thickness of the cylinder available there. If that D plus 3D goes outside, we will increase the thickness of the piston actually. Sorry, not the piston, the cylinder. And make sure that there is enough thickness available on both sides of the struts to hold it properly. And then we have to find the pitch of the strut, which is found by the equation pi into dp. Pi into dp is the circumference of the pitch circle area, and divided by the number of struts. That will give you the pitch of this. So this much you have to do for the design of cylinders. Now crankshaft is slightly long. I will keep it the crankshaft for the next class. So what I will do is I will take the all of you please unmute yourself. Abhay. Okay, Abhay. Abhay, are you present? Please mark my Abhiram. Are you there? Are you there? Abhiram is not there. Abhiram? Okay, it's better you unmute at that point when I call the attendant. Okay, Abhiram, not there. Abraham?
Sir, present.
Abraham present. Adityan?
Sir, present, sir.
Ajin?
Present, sir.
Akhil?
Present, sir.
Akshay?
Present, sir.
Amalay?
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
Amal K?
Present, sir.
Anand Chandran?
Sir, present.
Anand Kurian?
Present, sir.
Anandu?
Yeah.
Anand, രാവിലെ ആരെ കഴിച്ചത് ആനന്ദ്? നല്ല എനർജി. Anandu Jaydev?
Hello.
Anandu Jaydev?
Present, sir.
Anu ഉണ്ട്. ഞാൻ കണ്ടായിരുന്നു അനുവിന്റെ. അനുപം എസ്?
Present, sir.
Anwar, Anwar VD, Aravind, Aravind B,
Present, sir.
Arjun Sajid,
Present, sir.
Arjun to you.
And the grandfather.
Grandmother merchant, sorry. Ashik,
Present, sir.
Basil, Basil Shajan, Bilu,
Present, sir.
Christopher, Gautam,
Sir, present, sir.
Habib,
Present, sir.
Jarin Jason,
Present, sir.
Present, sir.
Jerry Saji,
Present, sir.
Joel,
Present, sir.
Joshua,
Present, sir.
Mikhail,
Present, sir.
Nimi,
Present, sir.
Prithviraj,
Present, sir.
Rohan,
Present, sir.
Rohit,
Present, sir.
Manish,
Present, sir.
Selvin, Ijo,
Present, sir.
Arun,
Present, sir.
Thomas Victor, Thomas Victor, Vivek,
Present, sir.
Justin George,
Sir.
Sabu Paul, Sabu Paul,
Sir.
Sabu undo, Aljo Joshi, Dahar, Dahar Abdul Rashid, Vishnu,
Present, sir.
Muhammad Aslam, okay, Hakim Nazar,
Present, sir.